Hello everybody, Gamer64 here. I'm back again with another review. Today's review is, yes, I am doing a review of the Pac Man Atari 2600 port. Yes. Now, before I start bashing, or even another lashing like everybody else has, to this port, let's talk a bit about the arcade version of the game. Now, the arcade game first came out in 1980 by Namco. What you do basically, you take control of Pac Man, the circle that opens his mouth and collects dots. To complete the level, you must collect all the dots. But while you're collecting these dots, 4 ghosts will chase you throughout the map. So how do you get rid of those ghosts is basically you collect a power pellet, which is the big circly dots on the screen. When you collect them, Pac-Man will become invincible and the ghosts will turn blue, and you can eat the ghosts for additional points, and also give Pac-Man a little more time to actually collect the rest of the dots, but also the ghosts do go back in the middle of the screen. But be careful with these power pellets because there are only 4 on each map, so use them wisely. And also you can also get additional points by collecting fruit, which are basically on the that appear randomly on the screen. And also you can avoid ghosts by going like side to side of the map and come out the other side to lose track of them. Now let's move on to the probably the most hated port on the Pac Man is the Atari 2600 version. Now let's talk about the history behind the Atari 2600 version. Todd Fry was the programmer at the time. He only had 5 months to actually develop this game. So he started from late of 1981 to March 82, which is basically when they actually released the game. When Todd Fry finished the prototype, he showed it and they decided, fuck it, we'll just release the prototype as the main game. And so everybody who bought this for the Atari 2600 got this game instead of the full game. It's like the fully complete game, it's more of the prototype. But surprisingly, this game sold over 12 million copies, which basically probably half the people would have actually taken back. Yeah, I still can't believe it sold that much money. Well, basically at the time, really, that there was no other ports of Pac Man. This is pretty much the Atari 2600 version was pretty much the first port, and probably if you're a fan of Pac Man, you were pretty dead shit excited about Atari getting the port. But what was so wrong with this port anyway? Well, first of all, the ghosts. The ghosts flicker on the screen. Sometimes the ghosts stick together. There are 4 ghosts in this game, but sometimes they were poorly programmed, and sometimes they stick together. Sometimes when you get a power pellet, which is basically in this game, it's just a square, multicoloured. But then when you die one of the ghosts, sometimes you kill 1 instead of 2, which basically kind of makes the game a little more debuggy. I don't know what they were thinking. It won't be that difficult to get more sprites on the screen, because look at the Space Invaders, that did a more better job. Also, you don't collect dots, you collect these rectangular brown things. It looks like Pac Man is eating up shit, let alone white dots. But there are fruits in this game as well, that sometimes this block, brown block with green in the middle, is basically representing the fruit of the game. But on this one, really, like, you only get 2 ways out. You only can get out from the top and the bottom to avoid your enemies. Most of the mazes, the maze pretty much repeats itself. It doesn't pretty much have the mazes from the arcade version. Pretty much it has the same maze from level 1, repeated over and over. Now this game pretty much did not kill the Atari It pretty much was the nail on the coffin. Because pretty much between this time they started to rush the games out, and pretty much that's how they started to lose money. When E.T. came around, that was the final nail on the coffin. Would I recommend this port? Stay the fuck away from this port. I recommend someone actually made a homebrew version on the Fairchild and it did a better job than this. Also, get the NES port. Or any other ports. Just avoid this. It's a turd left buried. So, hope you enjoy this review. I've been the Gamer64, and I will see you next time. peace. Things like that. Even the bloody title screen just doesn't look very convincing. It's all good along though.
A great philosopher once wrote,
It's all good in the long run.
Things like that.